Heyo, Greg Branos here for the Coach Speak Index. It's Friday afternoon, July 18th, 2025. And we're doing a Best Ball Mania 6 draft on Underdog. And my guest today for this draft is the lead data analyst for Fantasy Points. He is fresh off of publishing his 2025 Anatomy of a League Winner article, which everyone should go read right now. Ryan Heath, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. Yeah, excited to do some best ball drafts, and yeah, definitely recommend everyone go read Anatomy of a League Winner. It's definitely more geared primarily toward like managed leagues for that, like your typical kind of fantasy football league on Yahoo or ESPN or whatever. But yeah, I think it's a really, really good read, dense read, kind of a lot of strategy, a lot of archetypes, where you can draft league winners at each position, what to look for. Yeah, highly recommended. I'd spent a lot of time on that one.
I can absolutely tell. I think anyone reading that article can tell how much time you put into it. Fantastic stuff. I carved out time yesterday. I was like, I'm blocking off this time to read Ryan's article because I know it's a must read for the season, and Fantasy Points has a great history of putting out these types of articles, and to see you carry that on is really, really cool, man.
Yeah, no, it's really cool for me too to like write these super long articles that I grew up like reading Scott Barrett write, and then I'm writing like the same types of articles for Scott Barrett's company. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a very much a full circle moment for me.
We're gonna jump in this draft here. BBM 6, giving you guys like a 5-second warning here. Jumping in now. We'll see how many people are waiting for us. Just one person. Better jump in there quick. Let me get it up on screen. Almost accidentally exited the draft. That's not what we want.
Never good. Yeah.
A real bad omen, I feel. But all right, cool. By the way, guys, you can get this shirt here. You know what? I'm gonna put it back up on screen. You can get this shirt here from Fantasy Points. Is it still available?
It might be. I think it's in the store. Yeah. I'll check and confirm for the people right now that that's still up in the store.
The Rashi Rice shirt. And you might notice this gentleman right here is not Rashi Rice. It's actually Elijah Moore.
Yes.
That was a really fun couple of days.
That like one of my favorite Scott Barrett tweets ever is, just, for those that don't know, just a training camp highlight cut up of Elijah Moore wearing like vaguely orange red-ish clothing. It's like, and he just says, yeah, Rashee Rice looks awesome, and a lot of people fell for it, which is concerning, given that it said Elijah Moore on the bottom, like from Elijah Moore, because it was a video that Moore had originally posted. There was a lot of analysis being done on Rashee Rice, quote unquote.
A lot of injury analysis on how how Rashee Rice looked. I think this is like the first oversized shirt that I've worn since I was like 8 years old. I didn't know that like oversized shirts was like a style that you could buy. I thought people were just buying shirts that were way bigger but this is just like oversized medium shirt. I feel like David Byrne in the big suit with this shirt on.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Don't ask me about fashion trends. I have absolutely no clue. That I thrifted this like 5 years ago, and I just think it's funny because it says Dos Equis on it, like the beer commercial. Mm-hmm. Like I have no clue what the kids are buying and wearing these days at all. I'm like the least culturally in touch 25-year-old you'll ever meet.
All right, we are on the clock, and we're using the Fantasy Points ranks. At the top here is Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, I like Neighbors here. I kind of at the end of the first round, I'm very often just clicking a wide receiver, just because Devon Achane is like the best value through the entire first few rounds of Underdog, and he's just still usually sitting there in the early second. In high volume drafts, I'll sit and wait and hope that he makes it there in a decent number of them, which he usually does. It might be borderline here. You don't always get him falling to like 17, but I like taking the chance rather than just like going right into running back and missing the boat on this tier at wide receiver.
Right. We got 2 red badges on the end here, so I wonder if Achane does make it past them, and then we have another red badge right before us. So we'll see if he makes it back. But yeah, with Jonnu gone now in Miami, Achane is like, God, I really hope we get him here. All right, Achane.
There we go. Yeah, easiest click.
Oh my God. Yeah, he seems, pretty much like game script proof, like whatever proof for he's like the one guy in Miami that is as long as Tua stays healthy, Achane's just an absolute smash. Even if Tua gets hurt, obviously wouldn't be as good for Achane, but this is a guy who's going to see a ton of targets. I don't think that offensive line is much better than it was last year, and they had to play so much of that fast game, and Achane's just like gobbling up targets the entire time. And plus all the rushing stuff, right? Like he's by far their best runner on that team. He's, maybe the most dangerous weapon on that team now.
Yeah, that's the thing, is he kind of wins either way. So yeah, if the Dolphins offense is still kind of broken like last year and it looks the same, then yeah, he obviously is vacuuming up all of these short area targets, all these screens, even more so without Jonnu. The Dolphins think that they've addressed the interior of their offensive line. I mean, they drafted the second round guard. They signed a few free agents. Like Mike McDaniel very clearly wants like a return to the run game being efficient to kind of punish defenses for hanging back in too high, which was a lot of their problem last year and why like your Waddles and Tyreek Hills just could not get downfield. But if that happens and it goes back to the previous Dolphins offense, like we saw in 2023, that was the league's most valuable backfield that year. So I still, even in that scenario, like Achane also super wins. So yeah, he kind of can't lose. Achane's just my favorite click in every format right now in the early second.
Yeah, I think if we see just like a league average offense from the Dolphins, Achane hits big there. If we see, okay, we're back on the clock here. At the top, Mike Evans, Kyron Williams, Tetaroa McMillan, Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, I like Evans here. You can also sort by ADP because I gave you the fantasy points rankings, but I'll have some disagreements. Yeah, we can go Evans here.
Okay, sure. And that'll give us a week 17 correlation with our Devon Achane, which is nice. Nick says Ryan Heath, my GOAT. It's
Thank
true.
You, I appreciate it.
It's true. That's a real ball knower right there. Rashee Rice goes 35th overall, right at the end of the third round in this draft. If you're on Rice Watch,
yeah, I think the 3-4 turn is like about right for him. If we're in the like 4 to 6 game suspension range, I would heavily target him if he starts falling into the 4th. Is kind of where I'm at right now with what we know, but yeah. Obviously, we have Worthy ranked over him. I'm probably not going to get very much Worthy at the new cost. I just don't believe in the player nearly as much based on his metrics through his rookie season. I do love Tet here if he's going to fall to us. He will not, of course.
Yeah, I'm a big Tetaroa McMillan fan.
Oh, we're about to get round 4 Brees, I hope. If we do, Brees is an auto click here to me.
Oh, absolutely. I've been taking him a decent amount in the, end of the third. So getting him in the 4th. Yeah, I'm all about it. Starting out, Devon Achane, Brees Hall, Malik Neighbors, Mike Evans. Loving that. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm curious to get like your take on Brees, because I feel like so much of Brees falling in ADP has been a result of people like interpreting your Twitter account and all of the stuff you put out from these pressers and these quotes from the Jets coaching staff of like loving these three running backs. So I am curious. I think I knew that you were a Brees guy at cost, so I'm curious like what your thinking is there.
Yeah, it's been kind of tough for me because the coach speak from Aaron Glenn has been like, we want to use all three of these guys, and there's that clip that I posted that went viral, but there's been stuff that he said since then that I don't think I've tweeted out, but it's in the Coach Speak Index Discord of Aaron Glenn talking about both Breece Hall and Braylon Allen, talking about like how quick they are, which is like a weird thing to say about Braylon Allen because I don't think that's really true. But there might just like be something about like physically being in the same room with Braylon Allen where it's like this fucking hoss right here, man. We got to give this guy the ball. I do think Breece Hall's talent is so just like above and beyond, just so far, like not even head and shoulders, like full bodies above Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis. We're back on the clock here. Jalen Waddle, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin, Adunze.
Yeah, Waddle sticks out to me a lot here.
Yeah, for sure. Get our little team stack. Keep that week 17 correlation going with Mike Evans. Yeah, on back on the Breece Hall, Braylon Allen thing. I mean, if one guy just proves to be so much better than the others, like they're not gonna be like, okay, well, I said we're gonna give all three guys the ball, so we need to keep giving all three. Like that's just not the way that it's gonna work. And I think Breece Hall will prove himself to be so much better. People are down on him because of his production last year, and he burned them because of where you had to take him. But again, context is so big in these situations, and the context from Breece Hall last year is multiple things. First of all, he had this like mysterious lower body injury during training camp that they never really like revealed what it was. He didn't look that great out of the gate. He picks up like a knee injury that hampers him. And it was just a really terribly run team, a terribly run offense. Back on the clock here. Chris Godwin, Jacoby Myers, Joe Burrow, Deebo Samuel, Sam Laporta, David Montgomery, Juwan Jennings there.
Let's go Juwan here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Love that.
Like wouldn't mind Godwin. We don't need to go super crazy on the stack though. So
right. Yeah, I just think talent will win out in that situation with the Jets. And Justin Fields, I think, opens things up for the run game. They've talked about how much they want to run. They've invested in the offensive line, drafting Armand Membu with the 7th pick. And yeah, I think they're just going to like try to play it through Justin Fields, Breece Hall, and Garrett Wilson. The one thing that does scare me a little bit is the goal line role. Like, does Braylon Allen get the goal line role just because like he's a massive human being?
Yeah, I guess I think we're thinking fairly similarly on this backfield. My kind of biggest thing, like in terms of just parsing like the quotes and the coach speak, is that they keep saying like there are so many quotes that are like, we love all three of these running backs. There's one where Aaron Glenn says that, I don't know if you posted this one, but it is in the Discord, that basically, I don't think there are three running backs in the league that have as much potential as these guys. And it's like, we are talking about Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis here, right? Like, it's really I can name three running backs in the league that have the potential of those two pretty easily. But
the really funny thing about that quote is that he immediately backtracked on it. He said, I don't think there's like a better trio of runners in the league. And then he says, well, maybe there are, but these guys, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, but yeah, to that point, it reminds me of Dan Campbell a little bit, where you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Dan Campbell more than anyone in the league would just talk up his guys incessantly, like Josh Reynolds or whoever, like whatever random player on the roster he'll just talk so much about how much he loves these guys. And I just wonder if Glenn's doing the same, and it's not really related to what the usage will be. I like Pollard here as well.
Pollard. All right, let's do it. Let's do Pollard. Thought he looked really good last season. The Titans upgraded their offensive line, huge upgrade at quarterback. I think this offense will be much, much better this season. To the Dan Campbell point, I think so. He's definitely prone to gassing up his guys, but he doesn't do that unless it's really warranted and unless he really believes in it. Like, he is one of the most straight shooters in the NFL coaching ranks. I'd love to, reference a couple years ago, they had picked up Denzel Mims as a free agent, and he had been there a little while, and it was like training camp, and they asked Dan Campbell, "Hey, how's Denzel Mims doing? Like, what can we expect from him this year?" And Dan Campbell said, "He's in the room. That's about all I can say."
Oh no!
And they cut him like a day later.
Oh man!
Yeah, so Dan Campbell, like one of the most straight shots in the league when it comes to coach speak. So and that's what scares me a little bit about the Aaron Glenn stuff, is that Aaron Glenn is comes off as a real, like, no bullshit kind of guy. I'm going to speak my mind. And so when he keeps talking up Braylon Allen, like, I can't help but factor that in. Back on the clock here, ADP wise, Brian Robinson Jr., Rashid Shaheed, Jaden Higgins, Baker Mayfield.
We can go Shaheed here, I think, and then feel good at wide receiver for a while and kind of be done for a bit.
Yeah,
Baker is like an under. I don't know. On this team, Baker would be fine. I would love Baker if he fell to the next round. I've just not been taking Baker much at ADP. I'm like a little bit worried about this offense, especially in the beginning of the year without Tristan Wirfs. Like, Baker is one of the reason the Bucs were so good last year is because they had some of the best pass protection. Baker takes a lot of sacks. He hangs in the pocket and makes plays for sure, but also takes a lot of sacks. So I don't know if I want to be like as big on Baker this year, especially coming off of like the outlier high TD rate as well. Like, I think he's just probably 2 rounds too expensive. But if he falls around past ADP, I've been happy to take him there.
And I think we can't just assume that the Bucs on offense will be able to scheme guys open the way that Liam Cohen was able to last season. Like, we saw these touchdowns from guys like McMillan, and obviously Mike Evans has always done it, but like where he's getting these guys open by like 10, 20 yards, like no one even in the vicinity of these players. And whether Grizzard can do that, we'll see. We're on the clock. Bo Nix, Bashal Tootin.
Yeah, you show me ADP because our rankings are very crazy here.
Yeah.
We can just click Tracy.
Tracy,
I think. Sure. Yeah. I mean, we got sniped on most of our QB stacks. Got sniped on Purdy, sniped on Mayfield, so it's fine. We can push this one off to do like Tua later. What else do we? I love doing Cam Ward with Tony Pollard as like a season-long correlated stack, just because Pollard was so much better in any games that the Titans won last year. So if Cam Ward's good, Pollard will be really good at cost. What else could we cook up here? I guess
take a look at our guys. So obviously there's the Tua stuff with Achane and Waddle. There's the like late Jackson Dart as a QB3.
Yeah, I would love to take Drake May on this team. So anytime I have a team where I'm like, oh man, I don't have any quarterbacks and not that many stacks set up, like just clicking. It works with Justin Fields too, obviously, but clicking the Drake May ripcord is very nice.
I love it.
Kind of make those teams work.
Yeah, I definitely my most drafted quarterback. Might be my most drafted player overall. I don't think it's quite top player, but definitely top quarterback at 27% right now. Never averse to taking the Drake. And we're on the clock. You want to take him here?
Yeah, I think we take him here because it's more important to this team than adding a tight end. And we'll still get a good tight end on this turn. I think we getting like an Njoku or a Colston Loveland or kind of one of those tiers of guys is how I like to start out my tight end builds.
Yeah,
tight end builds.
I love the top 5 of these tight ends here. Njoku, Loveland, Tyler Warren. I think, man, I've been compiling quotes from the Discord for an AFC and NFC preview, and the stuff that they've said about Tyler Warren, and not even like just specifically about him, who just goes off the board now, but like the way that they were just publicly thirsting for a tight end since like February or March of 2024. And like, we want to get a wide tight end. We want a guy who can be dangerous in the middle of the field against linebackers and safeties, and also can block in the run game. Then they draft Tyler Warren with a 15th overall pick. And I mean, combined like with the reports that are coming out of camp, with all the coach speak on them, it really feels like wheels up for Tyler Warren. Now, of course, the quarterback situation will play into how productive he is, but yeah, I think he's definitely in like three receiver or 3 tight end builds. I think Tyler Warren is super nice there.
Yep. Yeah, and I feel pretty similar about Colston Loveland here. Yep. I think he's kind of the clear pick.
You want to take him?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, I wonder whether he is gonna.
Let's also queue up Tua just so I don't forget, because we kind of need him on this team. We could even. What's our next pick? Like 130 something. We could even reach around on Tua. I think
137. Yeah, I think we're well within our rights to do that. There, the Tyreek. Let's see what the Tyreek guy has. He has 3 QBs: Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, JJ McCarthy. Are there any other Miami pieces that would have been taken?
Tyreek?
I don't
believe so. No.
Oh.
Yeah, I still am like, it's still sketchy to me. Like, I just don't trust people to like put to not take QBs unstacked. And like on this team, it's so important that you get him too, just because like we passed on Baker. This is probably a 3 quarterback build. There are no like other clear stacks we're gonna have after Tua. Like we can add a giant like dart or whatever, or like a later stack. But yeah, I think like locking up to a few picks ahead of ADP or around ahead of ADP is totally defensible here, even with the Tyreek team not being a threat. I just don't like. I don't want dead teams. That's really what I'm trying to avoid. And we've actually our director of analytics, Chris Wecht, has actually done some research on this. He did this for his Big Data Bowl entry a couple years back, showing basically that reaching a round or 2 to complete a stack in like later in drafts is not a problem at all for your advance rate or for your win rates or anything. So yeah, I'm a big believer in just getting them. Yeah, just get them. There's nobody else here that's like that I need.
Yeah, looking like probably a 3-5-7-3 or
3-5-7-3 is what I would gravitate to here.
Yeah. All right, Drake May, Tua Tagovailoa, Devon Achane, Breece Hall, Tony Pollard, Tyrone Tracy, Malik Neighbors, Mike Evans, Jalen Waddle, Jawan Jennings, Rashid Shaheed, Colston Loveland. I love this start. This has
been very nice. I would queue up Hunter Henry. Don't want to forget him. That's like the easiest back stack with Drake May, and I love Hunter Henry this year. Like I think he could very easily lead the Patriots in targets. That would not surprise me that much at all. I think he has a lot of touchdown upside as well. If you just look at like implied totals, the Patriots are expected to score as many points per game as like the Dallas Cowboys this year. So it's like, the tight ends that usually hit from the late rounds are doing it with touchdown production. Henry, I believe the last time he played under Josh McDaniels in 2021, he was top of the league in end zone targets among all players at all positions. So yeah, he's one of my biggest stands this year.
How much of Henry do I have? 12% so far in Best Ball Mania. I want to go ahead and click him here.
Just show me ADP. We could wait around, but
Leggett, Austin Eckler, Romeo Dobbs.
There's nothing here that I need over Henry, honestly. Yeah. If we were like behind at running back or something, like probably clicking Eckler would be smarter than pushing him off, but I think it works just to get the stacks going.
Yeah, no huge ADP values at anything besides quarterback there. CJ Stroud goes off. How do you feel about like Tyler Shuck versus Jackson Dart?
This is weird. If it's like a build where I need startable weeks from that third QB like really badly early in the season, I'll take Shuck. I'm also taking a lot of Rashid Shaheed, so we'll kind of end up with a little more Shuck that way. But on a build like this, where we have May and Tua, and the third quarterback is kind of not a luxury, but it's not like we're super relying on this guy early in the year if our stacks hit, then I think Dart makes a ton of sense. He has more mobility than Shuck, probably a higher weekly ceiling than Shuck.
We're on the clock. Cam Ward is available if we wanted to take him. Jack Besh, Joshua Palmer, Adam Thielen.
Let's click Besh here.
Besh, yep. Gives us a week 17 correlation with our Malik Neighbors and Tyrone Tracy. Got those like bearish reports that dropped him from the 120-ish ADP of Jack Besh is running with the 2s. Dante Thornton running with the 1s.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, that's just like rookie running with the 2s in that was in June, right? That is never that never bothers me.
Yeah.
And I think you'd be more plugged into this than me, but this was my takeaway, was that it was more like a team beat kind of saying, oh, maybe this is because they think that Besh and Myers are like too similar and have duplicative skill sets, and they want Thornton like stretching on the outside. That wasn't like Chip Kelly said that, right? So I don't know. I feel like this was more like we're like post talk explaining what we saw with one rookie being on the field with the 1s over the other, and it's not so much like a huge concern to me, or I don't think it projects forward necessarily. But yeah, I'm interested in your thoughts on that.
Well, somebody, it might have been Davis Maddock, made the point that like saying that this guy has a duplicative skill set to Jacoby Myers, and I believe they said Brock Bowers as well. Like that's a good.
Yeah, that sounds like a compliment to me. Yeah.
This guy's too much like they're like our 2 best pass catchers. We got to put him with the second team.
Yeah, no, and I mean there are so many offenses in the NFL that have guys or multiple guys with similar skill sets. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle as a kind of classic. Like,
about to be back on. We're on the clock. Adam Thielen, Jerome Ford, Mason Taylor, Aaron Rodgers, Alec Pierce, Will Shipley.
Let's click Shipley and just be done at running back.
I like that very much. Got a lot of Shipley. Been a lot of talk about him recently. I know Evan Silva is really big on him. We took him in Wednesday's draft. Silva was talking about him yesterday with Pat Kerrane and Pete Overzet on ADP Chasing, I believe it was. They shipped Kenneth Gainwell off. Saquon got a ton of touches last season. I mean, this Shipley to me seems like very, very, very clear number 2 guy there. And I think a really, really big gap between him and the next guy, which is probably AJ Dillon. But, old guy coming off of a season he had to miss because of his neck. Like when has that ever worked out?
He was streaming Farming Simulator the entire time as well.
Right. Like, they must really, really trust Will Shipley. We are back on the clock. Adam Thielen, Mason Taylor, Alec Pierce.
We can finish receiver here. Let's go Alec Pierce.
Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, yesterday I was compiling all of these Indianapolis Colts notes from the Coach Speak Index Discord, and I mean Alec Pierce is a guy that they can't stop talking about, and sometimes unprompted. Like when they're asked about AD Mitchell, Chris Ballard will go into talking about Alec Pierce.
Lovely.
It's really tough for AD Mitchell to get on the field when we have Alec Pierce here. And saying that, you know, when we drafted AD Mitchell, Alec Pierce came in and said, "Hey, what is this? You know, like what do I need to do?" And he's done like everything they've asked him to do. Shane Steichen was asked about him. He's like, "Man, Alec Pierce, he just keeps going like this and makes this like ascending gesture." Like they're very, very big on Alec Pierce. I don't know how it works out when Daniel Jones is the quarterback. He had a good accuracy on his deep ball for like 1 or 2 seasons early in his career, and then like we've never really seen that again from him. Richardson, obviously, we know loves to chuck it deep.
Yeah. I think Pierce is the only cult where you're rooting for more Anthony Richardson starts. And I mean, for that reason, I'm taking Pierce naked usually. I'm not going like Pierce plus Downs teams generally, because if I'm drafting a lot of Josh Downs too, but in that scenario, I want Daniel Jones to start more, and I think that's probably more likely. But yeah, Pierce is just really nice as a better in best ball archetype here. So I mean, my ideal last 2 picks here, I think, would be Theo Johnson and Jackson Dart.
All right,
maybe that's going a little too heavy on the Giants offense, but I think I mean, they're picks I like in a vacuum. It works with the team, with the stacks. Yeah, we can certainly take Theo here.
Want to go Theo first and then Dart?
I think Theo first, yeah, because if Dart gets sniped, then we have other options. We could go a Chuck. We could go a Daniel Jones. But yeah.
All right, Chuck goes off. Go ahead and mark Jackson Dart here. Yeah, they have a really, really tough schedule right out of the gate. The Giants do. And I mean, we could see them turn to Jackson Dart, whether it's like trying to save their jobs, you know, when they're like 1-4 or whatever, and then they bring Jackson Dart in. Maybe they don't make the playoffs, but maybe they're like 8-9 or something like that, and just showing like, hey, we got something here with this Jackson Dart guy. You got to give us like 1 more year to kind of see this through.
Yeah, I just think it's incredibly likely that Jackson Dart is starting in weeks 15 through 17, which is ultimately what we care about for Best Ball Mania. So yeah, he's and the skill set is real. Like Brett Whitefield over at Fantasy Points really was kind of the original like Jackson Dart pusher. Like before anybody thought he could go in the first round. He was Brett. Yeah, he was Brett's top QB in the class.
Really
has the rushing potential, has like kind of the fantasy friendly deep ball stuff too. So yeah, I really like Dart.
Let's pull the trigger on Dart. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think Dable could. I mean, we saw what Dable did in his first year with like a mobile Daniel Jones there. We know the mobility that Jackson Dart has. Dable has been talking about like how much he likes how aggressive Jackson Dart is. And you could like certainly, I mean, Dable just wants to get like 20 targets a game to Malik Neighbors. And, you know, you could definitely see Jackson Dart being the guy to do that there. What's up, Bindles? All right,
let's go on Bindles.
Let's take a look at our team here. Oh yeah, it's a banger. Drake May, Tua Tagovailoa, Jackson Dart at QB. Our running backs are Devon Achane, Breece Hall, Tony Pollard, Tyrone Tracy, Will Shipley. At receiver, Malik Neighbors, Mike Evans, Jalen Waddle, Juwan Jennings, Rashid Shaheed, Jack Besh, Alec Pierce, and our tight ends, Colston Loveland, Hunter Henry, Theo Johnson. How are you liking that team there?
I'm loving it. Yeah, it was really nice. Our stacks and like our bringbacks all kind of lined up very easily and perfectly. That was a very smooth little draft. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it was too easy. They just, hey, you guys want these week 17 and player stacks? Here you go. All right, let's name it. Ryan Heath, guaranteed winner.
How many of these do you name guaranteed winner? Come on.
Let's take a look.
If we look through all your names, yeah, right. We got some. What's my competition here?
You want to take a look at some of these teams? Name a person. We'll look at. Who do you guys want to see? We'll match the team that I just drafted with Ryan against somebody else's team. It doesn't necessarily mean guaranteed winner of the entire thing. Like maybe it's just guaranteed winner of this pod. But some of them I think are guaranteed winners of the entire shebang. Yeah, this was an awesome team. Love it. Got a question here in the chat. Ryan, what is your go-to apocalyptic food if you had to pick? Well, I think if you're in an apocalypse, you would have to pick.
Yeah, I guess if it's just like stuff that will keep forever, like whatever, like pantry item or something, it would 100% be Kraft mac and cheese. That I eat way more Kraft mac and cheese than I should probably admit to as an adult. But yeah, that's kind of my go-to, like just take it out of the box. I guess that requires butter. Do we have butter in the apocalypse? I'm not really sure about that, but yeah, I would hope so. Gotta have that stocked up, I guess.
We gotta bring some cows down into the shelter
man.
And milk and cheese. Kraft sponsor Ryan Heath. All right. Listen, man, unprompted, giving love to Kraft mac and cheese. Want to ask you this one question before we get out of here. It can be really tough cutting through all the white noise in this industry, getting people to recognize your work. But that is exactly what you have done over the last couple of years. Can you take us kind of through that journey and maybe provide any lessons that you've learned along the way?
Yeah, man, I think so. I guess if I'm just structuring this as like advice for like penetrating the industry and getting people to like pay attention to your work, number one thing is that your work should be really good and it should be apparent that you've put a lot of effort into it and that you care about it a lot. I think when you're reading like my articles that have done the best, I think that's like kind of like the most common thread is I think people can tell that I care a lot and that I really want what I put out to be of high quality. And I guess like the other thing I would say is it really works, in my opinion, to kind of like write articles or do content like in the same area or even directly like at the people that you enjoy consuming. So the reason that the first article of mine that Scott Barrett ever read was basically a response to his original Upside Wins Championships article, where I was critiquing it and saying he could have gone even further here and with a bunch of like ideas that I had. And that was kind of what got me on his radar. So yeah, I think just like quality over everything is how I always approach stuff. And then just like authentically making the type of content you're interested in and that you want and that you enjoy seeing other people make.
Very, very good advice. People can absolutely tell when like you put work into something, when you care about something. And that's like through a lot of different fields and industries. Like you can just like kind of sixth sense kind of sense when someone's just like going through the motions. Like even if they're putting on kind of a showman face or whatever about it, like you can you can just like tell kind of deep down when they're like really truly invested into this. All right, next week, Wednesday. So next week we're going to be starting 2 of these on Wednesdays and Fridays. Wednesday, Jamie Eisenberg and Liam Murphy. Friday is, oh my God, I should have done the research on how to pronounce this guy's last name, because I know it's not how I think it's Dave Kluge, I believe is the pronunciation. I will.
Honest to God, I thought it was Kluge. Sorry, Dave, if I'm saying your last name wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Kluge, though. Okay, I have no actual idea, though.
The next one I can't pronounce. Michael F. Florio will be with us. All right, Ryan, please let us know where we can find you and what you got going on.
Yeah, you can find me on X, on Twitter, whatever you'd like to call it, at RyanJ_Heath. And then you can find all of my written work, including 2025 Anatomy of a League Winner, over on fantasypoints.com. And you can catch me on the Fantasy Points YouTube channel as well every Tuesday night with Dynasty Points, and there with Graham Barfield every Thursday afternoon, drafting best ball teams just like this show. So yeah, go check it out, guys.
Do it. They're doing incredible work at Fantasy Points. Ryan Heath is a big part of that, and like 1000%. Do not go to bed tonight without reading the 2025 Anatomy of a League Winner. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next week. Peace.